Hello everybody, welcome again to Pigskin Preview. We'll be talking with David Johnson just a few minutes about the games coming up this week, and there are some big ones, being the last weekend of the regular season. Of course, Monroe area playing a play-in game, and a couple other teams getting tuned up for the playoffs. But first I want to talk with Hank Evans, the athletic director here at Walnut Grove High School. And Hank, you just came in here less than a year ago. What's it been like for you so far?
A whirlwind of experiences to learn in a short time, but it's been a good experience. I was at Loganville for about almost 20 years as a coach and teacher and administrator, and had the opportunity to come here, and it's been a blessing and a great experience.
As your first job as an athletic director, you come in with a brand new program. That's got to present some awfully big challenges.
Oh, no doubt. Probably number one on the list are the financial challenges. Just not having the fan base yet, because we're just having a full senior class, and even now it's still a small senior class, and trying to get out there and set traditions in sports so that we can have a following and just get people to come out and patronize us. And, so that's the biggest hurdle, but also helping these young people to buy into the new school. And this senior class is the last bunch that went to both either Loganville or Monroe, so there's still some ties there, and we're just trying to make our stamp on their lives as being Walnut Grove people now. And so we're getting there, but that's just the challenges you face being a brand new school.
There's some programs already establishing the tradition, like the girls softball team and a couple other ones, so it's off on the right foot, I guess.
We're excited. There's a few teams that hit the gate running and have just continued that success, and we see some growth in other sports, and we think it won't be long for we're all hopefully beating down the playoff doors. So we're really excited about the future.
All right, of course, the football season wraps up this Friday night for O.J. Soto and his ball club. What do you think about the progress of the program so far?
I think it's one of those things where I see the progress, but I also see the hills, the mountains they've had to overcome this year. We've had so many injuries. It's been a different offensive line starting every week, a different person having to come in here, having to play a lot more young people than we expected going into the season. And that's part of when you have a young program, a small program, things you have to face. But I've seen the effort by these young people, and I know that they're buying in, they're committed to doing their best, and the success is going to come. We just hadn't been able to get over the hump in a few games, but we've been competitive, and I believe that with the right breaks and staying healthy, we're going to be a competitive program, one that people have to deal with and definitely consider.
I know you were really behind getting O.J. in here. He's brought some enthusiasm to the program that you really need to start things off.
Right. Yes.
So when you came in here, you had to hire a lot of new coaches, not just a football coach. That had to be tough for you and Mr. Bowell.
Well, never having been in that situation and having to play a major part in hiring personnel, and my main thrust anytime we hired someone was I need to know that they're a good person, that has a person of character, that has high ethical values, and will have the same expectations on these young people. And that they can coach. Anybody that we've hired knows the X's and O's, knows the ins and outs of their sports, but bottom line is that a person that I would trust my children with. And that's been our focus for sure.
You said you've been around Loganville for 20 years. So do you know a lot of these coaches personally, or did you know them before you hired them?
I've known a couple of them personally before I hired them, but I did not. The assistants in football, I knew one of them before they came in, and then of course Rob Donaldson and I worked together in basketball, and Coach Soto and I go back, having coached together at Loganville, and I spent 1 year at Grayson a few years back.
So when you're looking for good people, you take recommendations from former employers?
Yes. We talked to their administrators, those that did their evaluations. I talked to maybe some common people that I know that could speak to their character and their abilities in the classroom and on the field.
All right, getting back to football, I've seen this team play several times this year, and there's some talent out there. You've had some injuries, but what I see is you just need more room in the weight room, more time in the weight room.
There's no doubt about it. there's a couple games this year that I felt we were definitely athletically as strong as the other team. Athletically, we had the talent, but we were not as strong up front and lost the battle in the trenches, and that's where you win and lose the battles. And so there's no doubt the weight program has to make a difference. Anyway, yes, I mean it's evident when you have a program that's been in place for a number of years that the biggest difference between them and us is not the athletic ability, it's the strength ability. And when you see just the size of the shoulders and the legs on some of the people we're playing, we got to catch up, and it's going to take that time and effort and that commitment in the weight room. There's no doubt.
You know, the athletic director here before you was telling me when he got the job that you'd make inroads in women's sports, girls sports before the guys, and I guess that's the main reason.
I think so. I think the development, sometimes the young ladies develop, they become, they've reached maybe their height by the time they're in ninth grade, and some of these young men, they're not fully grown till they're getting ready to go to college. And so I think traditionally in most schools you do see that the women's sports do have some earlier success, and I think that's because of the development and maturity level.
All right, Hank, thanks for your time, and you've done a good job here, and I know you'll keep it up, and this program's going to get where you want to be.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Thanks for all you do for us.
All right. Now let's join David Johnson. We'll talk about this week's high school football games. All right, of course, that was Hank Evans, the athletic director, Loganville resident, as he said, 20 years with the Red Devil program over there. And David, he's done a good job as far as getting things organized. And I don't think it's any secret that things might have been a little bit of a mess when he took over at Walnut Grove.
Yeah, he came in and, of course, took over after their first year, and they kind of cleaned house over there after that first year. And there's no doubt they have turned things around big time. Especially their girls program. Their girls programs have just really taken off from the get-go. The softball team, of course, made state their first year, and of course, they were number one in the state for a while this year until they got upset early in the playoffs. The girls program, I think they were fourth in the state earlier this year, and just have really done a great job. The boys programs, I think Coach Donaldson over there in basketball, I think he's the right guy. I've seen him coach as far back in middle school, and he's probably the best X and O's guy I've ever seen as far as a basketball coach. I think he's going to get things going there. And the football team, of course, Coach Soto, I think it was a real steal for them to be able to pull a guy from Grayson, offensive coordinator there, and Grayson has been one of the top offensive powerhouses in the state in recent years. They're number 2 this year. So obviously I think this is a guy that knows what he's doing, and I think they've got the program going well over there right now.
And something I talked about with Coach Evans, I've seen Walnut Grove play several times, as we mentioned with him, and defensively they missed a lot of tackles. And that a lot of times doesn't come from bad technique. That comes from lack of strength. And he was talking about the importance of the weight room, and you can't get a weight program like you wanted in a couple of years.
No, that definitely takes time. And I think you just look down the road at Loganville and what happened when Coach Godfrey came in there, and that was his big thing, is he emphasized that strength program. He knew they weren't going to outrun anybody. Speed was always a problem with them. He came in there, and I think, like I've said for a long time, they've got one of the best weight programs in the state, and you can see what it's done for them. So, I think once Walnut Grove starts getting some of those freshmen and sophomores becoming juniors and seniors and beefing them up a little bit, I think they'll see a big difference.
Loganville's offensive and defensive line looks like a college line. I mean, they are huge, and it just comes from hard work. All right, coming up this Friday night, of course, Monroe area takes on North Hall in a play-in game at the Purple Pit. It's a 2 seed against a 3 seed. North Hall started the season with 4 straight losses, but they are right now 4-5. And this is not going to be an easy ball game for Monroe area.
No, this is probably one of the better 4-5 teams you're going to see. Those first 4 losses, they played a really rugged schedule. I think their first 4 losses they had, I think the teams ended up the year, I think, with a 32-5 record or 34-2 or something like that. So those first 4 games, you can kind of chalk those up to the schedule, and they've really turned things around since then. And this is it's going to be a tough game. This is North Hall comes in with one of the top backs in the state, Armani Cross, who is already committed to Tennessee. He's got over 1,500 yards rushing, 20-something odd touchdowns. He's 6'2", 225, same weight and height that a former pretty famous back from Georgia, Herschel Walker. as he came out of Johnson County, came into Georgia about that same height and weight. So this guy's going to be a load to take care of.
I saw North Hall play against Walnut Grove, and Cross didn't have the speed that our Herschel Walker type has, but he's just a bulldozer. You're going to have to hit him hard, and it's going to take some game tackling. So Monroe area has got to really be around the football.
Oh yeah, that's one thing Coach Fleek said. I talked to him earlier, and he mentioned they're just hoping to get a lot of purple shirts on him because one guy's not going to be bringing this guy down.
All right, game time 7:30. Of course, the winner goes on to the playoffs, and the season is over for the other one. We talked about Walnut Grove, but they do wrap up the season this week against White County, and both teams at 2-7, 1-4 overall. So on paper, this looks like a pretty close ball game.
Yeah, it should be, and this will be a nice chance for Walnut Grove to maybe pick up another win and go out with some momentum heading into next year. Yeah, I mean, these play-in games usually are going to be pretty well matched up. I mean, this is a 5 versus a 5. So, hopefully, again, Walnut Grove can take this one, pick up that win, and go out of the season feeling good about themselves.
That preseason column, when you predicted final season records, what did you choose? What did you pick for Walnut Grove?
I hadn't gone and looked back. I remember Monroe's. I think I picked Walnut Grove possibly 3-7, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
It was 3-7.
Was it?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So if they win this game, you'll be right on that one.
Right.
Monroe area, you picked at 8-2. If they win, they'll finish at 8-2. And Loganville, you only missed it by a game or so. They can finish 5-5. And I don't remember if you picked 6-4 or 5-5. But
I think I was 6-4 on them. I seem to remember. So Loganville messed me up, but Walnut Grove pulled me through this week. I appreciate that.
And you were a little bit optimistic for Social Circle.
Well, I don't remember what was it.
I think it was 2-8.
Okay, well, maybe they'll win. They'll upset Commerce this week, and I'll be right on. If they did get that forfeit win. So.
All right, George Walton at Athens Christian. It's going to be a tough one for them.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the tough thing is if George Walton's really going to be up for this one. It's a meaningless game. If George Walton's already in, again, the main thing is they just don't need to get anybody hurt. They need to stay healthy heading into that first playoff game the following week. So, I think they can take care of business if they really care about it. So we'll just see how they go in and, mentally how they're approaching this game.
So they'll host a first round playoff game.
Yeah, they'll finish the second seed in 8A. They'll host the first round, probably get Wilkinson County.
All right, Loganville Christian School is going to be in action Friday night, and the Lions, who are right now 8-1, will play host to Creekside. Creekside on Friday night. I was thinking that's who Covenant played, but they don't. Covenant's going to be on the road this week, and I really can't think of who Coach Bob McCready's team plays on Friday night, but they start the playoffs on Friday. But the LCA game starts at 7 o'clock now, not 7:30, over at Loganville Christian School outside Loganville. So good luck to the Lions and Coach Andre King. And LCA beat Creekside 36-6 earlier in the season, and hopefully they can do that again and advance to the semifinals. That's going to wrap it up. We'll see you next time on Pigskin Preview. All right, wait a minute. We forgot all about Loganville and Appalachia. It's a game that's probably not going to mean a lot, David, but I don't want to leave them out. So Loganville, and we talked about their record earlier, but they can finish at 5-5.
Yeah, and that would be, I know they're disappointed that they didn't pull that one off last week. I mean, there's still a chance, I guess, if Rockdale can somehow upset Habersham County, Loganville wins this one, they can still get in, but that's just not going to happen. Rockdale's not very good. So this is probably going to wrap it up for Loganville, but they can take a lot of good things. They're very young this year. They had 3 starters back on from both sides of the ball, so they were very young. And they got a lot of folks coming back next year. So I know they're disappointed, but good things in the future looks like.
All right, don't forget high school football. Big games coming up Friday night, and really this one wraps it up. We'll see you next time.